Remember that butterfly effect we talked about? That mind-blowing idea that a tiny butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil can somehow cause a tornado in Texas? Well, let's get a bit more specific, shall we? Imagine this. You're rushing to work, coffee sloshing precariously in hand, late for that dreaded morning meeting. You bump into someone in the elevator, mumbling a hurried apology. But wait, instead of scowling and grumbling like you usually do, you decide to offer a genuine smile and a cheerful good morning. Now, here's where the magic happens. That person, surprised by your unexpected burst of sunshine, strikes up a conversation. Turns out they work in a field you've always been curious about, and they're actually hosting a networking event that very evening. Intrigued, you decide to attend, and bam! You end up meeting a potential employer who's so impressed with your enthusiasm and fresh perspective that they offer you a job on the spot. A job that, by the way, is 10 times better than the soul-crushing one you were rushing to that morning. All because you decided to flash a smile instead of unleashing your inner grumpy bear. See? Just like that butterfly flapping its wings, your seemingly insignificant choice set off a chain reaction, leading to a whirlwind of unexpected opportunities. Who knew that a simple smile could be the key to unlocking a whole new life? Life, my friend, is a bit like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Every day, we're faced with a series of choices, each one leading us down a different path, opening up new chapters in our personal narratives. But here's the thing. We often get so caught up in the minutiae of daily life, the endless to-do lists and mundane routines, that we forget the immense power we hold in our hands, the power of choice. This is your guide to reclaiming that power, to understanding how one simple, seemingly insignificant choice can be the seed that blossoms into a life of extraordinary fulfillment, purpose, and joy. Think of it as planting a tiny acorn that, with the right care and nurturing, can grow into a magnificent oak tree. We'll explore the fascinating science behind decision-making, sprinkled with relatable anecdotes and a dash of philosophical pondering, to help you cultivate your own garden of possibilities. Now, before you get all excited and start making impulsive decisions like quitting your job to become a professional llama whisperer, let's address the elephant in the room, the dreaded decision paralysis. Our brains, despite being these incredible supercomputers capable of processing billions of bits of information per second, are surprisingly bad at making decisions. It's like having a Ferrari with a faulty GPS. All that power, but you end up lost in a cornfield. Dr. Barry Schwartz, in his brilliant book, The Paradox of Choice, explains that having too many options can actually lead to anxiety, indecision, and ultimately dissatisfaction. Think about it. Have you ever spent hours agonizing over which brand of olive oil to buy or which filter to use on your latest Instagram selfie? This choice overload can deplete our mental resources, leading to what psychologists call decision fatigue. We end up making impulsive choices or avoiding decisions altogether, clinging to the familiar comfort of our routines, even when they're about as exciting as watching paint dry. Then there's the fear of failure, the dreaded what if, that keeps us playing small and staying stuck. This fear is deeply ingrained in our DNA, a leftover survival mechanism from our cave-dwelling ancestors who had to constantly worry about saber-toothed tigers and where their next meal was coming from. This loss aversion, as behavioral economists call it, explains why we often prioritize avoiding losses over acquiring gains, even when the potential gains are like winning the lottery and finally being able to afford that solid gold yet you've always dreamed of. But wait, there's more. Even when we manage to overcome decision paralysis and muster the courage to face our fears, there's a whole army of other obstacles waiting to ambush us on our path to change. Think of it as a video game where you've finally defeated the first boss, only to find yourself facing a horde of angry goblins wielding pointy sticks. These barriers, often disguised as well-meaning advice or societal expectations, can be sneaky little devils, whispering doubts in our ears and tempting us to turn back to the safety of our comfort zones. We humans are social creatures, hardwired to seek approval and belong. This means that our decisions are often influenced by the invisible forces of societal norms and expectations. It's like an invisible pressure cooker, constantly reminding us of how we should behave, what we should value, and what constitutes a successful life. So, When we contemplate making a choice that deviates from the norm, like quitting a stable job to pursue a passion for underwater basket weaving, we often face a barrage of well-meaning but ultimately limiting advice. "But what about your pension?" they cry. "What will your Aunt Mildred say?" they gasp. This social pressure can be a powerful deterrent, keeping us trapped in a life that doesn't truly align with our values and aspirations. Closely related to social pressure is the fear of judgment, that nagging voice in our heads that worries about what others will think. It's like having a panel of critical judges constantly scrutinizing our every move, ready to unleash a torrent of disapproval if we dare to step out of line. This fear can be paralyzing, preventing us from taking risks, pursuing our passions, and expressing our true selves. We worry about being labeled as weird, irresponsible, or failures if we don't conform to the expectations of others. This fear of judgment can keep us playing small, hiding our true colors, and living a life that feels more like a performance than an authentic expression of who we are. The comfort zone, that cozy little bubble where everything is familiar, predictable, and safe. It's like our favorite worn-out armchair, comforting and familiar, but not exactly conducive to exciting adventures. Leaving the comfort zone can be scary, like stepping off a cliff and hoping you sprout wings before you hit the ground. But here's the thing: growth, transformation, and those juicy life-changing experiences happen outside of our comfort zones. It's where we challenge ourselves, learn new skills, and discover hidden strengths we never knew we had. Overcoming the allure of the comfort zone requires a conscious effort, a willingness to embrace discomfort and uncertainty, and a trust in our ability to navigate the unknown. Now that we've identified those pesky barriers, let's explore how seemingly small choices can help us overcome them and create a life that truly lights us up. Imagine a woman who, after reading a study in the British Journal of Health Psychology, decides to make one small change: a 30-minute walk every morning. Think of it as planting a tiny seed of well-being. The study, which followed a group of couch potatoes turned walking enthusiasts, found that those who engaged in regular brisk walking not only shed those extra pounds and improved their heart health, but also experienced a significant boost in their mood, sleep quality, and even their ability to remember where they left their car keys. This is because exercise is like a magic potion for the brain, increasing the production of endorphins, our body's natural happy pills, and stimulating the growth of new brain cells in the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. This leads to increased energy, reduced stress, and a newfound clarity of mind, which in turn makes her a superstar at work, leading to a promotion and a fatter paycheck. The ripple effect of this one small change extends to her personal life as well, as she feels more confident and energized, leading to stronger relationships and a greater sense of overall happiness. This aligns with the upward spiral theory in positive psychology, which suggests that positive emotions and behaviors are like a contagious dance party, reinforcing each other and creating a virtuous cycle of well-being. Consider a man trapped in a cage of self-doubt and negativity. He stumbles upon Carol Dweck's groundbreaking research on growth mindset and decides to break free from his limiting beliefs. Dweck's research, involving thousands of participants from all walks of life, has consistently shown that individuals who believe their abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work, growth mindset, are like those inflatable punching clowns. They bounce back from setbacks, embrace challenges, and ultimately achieve greater success in all areas of life, from acing exams to mastering the art of parallel parking. This shift in mindset, from a fixed belief in inherent abilities to a belief in the power of learning and growth, is like trading in a rusty old bicycle for a sleek sports car. It opens him up to new possibilities, allowing him to see opportunities where he once saw roadblocks. He starts taking risks, pursuing his passions, and building meaningful connections. This newfound confidence and optimism transform his life, leading to greater success, fulfillment, and inner peace. Neuroscience research has even shown that adopting a growth mindset can light up the prefrontal cortex, the CEO of the brain, responsible for planning, decision-making, and keeping those impulsive urges in check. Picture a young artist stuck in a soul-crushing job, her creative spirit withering like a neglected houseplant. Inspired by the work of psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi on flow state, she finally decides to take a leap of faith, quitting her job to nurture her artistic soul. Csikszentmihalyi's research, based on interviews with thousands of people from all walks of life, identified flow as a state of complete absorption in an activity, like being so engrossed in painting a masterpiece that you forget to eat, sleep, and even answer the door when your nosy neighbor comes knocking. This state is often accompanied by a surge of dopamine, the brain's pleasure chemical, which makes us feel like we're riding a wave of pure joy and motivates us to keep chasing that feeling. Despite the initial financial uncertainty and the fear of failure whispering doubts in her ear, she perseveres, fueled by her passion and determination. Her dedication pays off as she gains recognition for her work, eventually building a successful career as an artist, living a life filled with purpose and creative expression. Research shows that engaging in activities that induce flow is like hitting the jackpot of happiness, leading to increased creativity, a sense of meaning, and a life that feels like a masterpiece in the making. These examples, backed by rigorous scientific research, highlight the profound impact that seemingly small decisions can have on our lives. Whether it's adopting a new habit, changing your mindset, or taking a leap of faith, the key is to recognize the power of choice and to be willing to step outside your comfort zone, to venture off the beaten path and explore the uncharted territory of your dreams. So, what is the one simple decision, the ultimate game changer, that can transform your life forever? It's the decision to take responsibility for your own happiness. This may seem like a no-brainer, but let's be honest. How many of us spend our days chasing happiness like it's a mischievous butterfly flitting just out of reach? We pin our hopes on external factors like landing that dream job, finding the perfect partner, or finally winning the lottery so we can buy that private island and rename it Happyland. We fall into the trap of believing that happiness is something that happens to us, like a lucky strike of lightning, rather than something we actively cultivate, like a beautiful garden that requires constant tending and care. This is where the brilliant Dr. Sonia Lyabomirsky comes in, armed with decades of research to bust those happiness myths. Her work, which combines twin studies, longitudinal data analysis, and experimental interventions, suggests that while 50% of our happiness is determined by genetics and 10% by life circumstances, a whopping 40% is influenced by our intentional activities and choices. That's right, my friend. You have the power to create your own happiness. Taking responsibility for your happiness means recognizing that you are the conductor of your own symphony of emotions. It means letting go of the victim mentality, trading in your woe is me violin for a conductor's baton, and embracing the belief that you are the architect of your own life. It means prioritizing your well-being, setting boundaries, and making choices that align with your values and goals. This involves cultivating positive emotions through practices like gratitude, mindfulness, and acts of kindness, all of which have been scientifically proven to boost happiness and well-being. For example, studies have shown that practicing gratitude regularly is like giving your brain a dose of sunshine, increasing levels of dopamine and serotonin, those feel-good neurotransmitters that make you want to skip down the street and hug strangers. Maybe not strangers, but you get the idea. Mindfulness meditation, on the other hand, is like training your brain to become a Zen master, strengthening the prefrontal cortex and improving your ability to regulate emotions and make conscious choices, so you don't end up yelling at the cashier because they're out of your favorite flavor of ice cream. This one decision, this commitment to taking the reins of your own happiness, can be the spark that ignites a complete life transformation. When you take responsibility for your happiness, you stop waiting for external circumstances to magically align and start actively creating the life you desire. You become more resilient in the face of challenges, like a sturdy oak tree weathering a storm, more grateful for the good things in your life, like a kid on Christmas morning, and more empowered to pursue your dreams, like a fearless explorer charting new territories. This aligns with the concept of self-efficacy in psychology, which basically means believing in your own awesomeness and your ability to conquer any challenge that comes your way. Research has shown that individuals with high self-efficacy are like superheroes in disguise, more likely to set ambitious goals, leap over tall buildings in a single bound, and ultimately achieve greater success in life. We've embarked on a journey through the fascinating world of choice, exploring how seemingly small decisions can ripple through our lives, creating waves of change that shape our destiny. We've delved into the inner workings of the brain, uncovering the intricate mechanisms that drive our decision-making and influence our well-being. We've seen how adopting a new habit can be like planting a seed that blossoms into a healthier, happier you, how changing your mindset can be like upgrading your mental software, and how taking a leap of faith can be like launching yourself into the orbit of your dreams. But ultimately, the most important decision you can make, the one that holds the key to unlocking a life of true fulfillment, is to take responsibility for your own happiness. This one simple choice, backed by decades of research in positive psychology, behavioral science, and neuroscience, is like finding the treasure map to a life filled with purpose, passion, and joy. It's a choice that requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone, to embrace the unknown and chart your own course. But the rewards are immeasurable. When you take responsibility for your happiness, you empower yourself to create a life that truly reflects your deepest desires and aspirations, a life that is uniquely yours, a masterpiece in the making. So, my friend, I challenge you to make that choice today. Choose happiness. Choose to take control of your life. Choose to create a future filled with purpose, passion, and joy. The power is within you. Now go forth and flap those butterfly wings.